What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I just kind of wanted to catch everybody up where the car's at, and I also wanted to talk about Clydes leather and seat doctors. Briefly talk about leather recoloring balm and, well, just leather in general. I wasn't even going to really make a video on this until it was done, but I had this weird experience with Clydes, and I kind of want to make a video just on that, but I also don't want to make a video just complaining about my own experience. So I figured I would buy the proper stuff and make a full video and kind of explain what I want to do with this thing and what I'm going to use to do it. And in Canada, you can't really return stuff, which is a good segue into the second part of this video, which is Clydes leather cream. I've seen so many ads on Facebook about this stuff, and Legit Supercars did a great review. The problem is that they are reviewing the black product, which I feel stupid because I actually know enough about leather. I should know this. But I saw a handful of YouTube videos and I really wanted to just believe that this would work. So I bought their cream. They have two different beiges, I think, but the beige actually wasn't that bad. Like, if you look at this is completely worn off. This leather is like completely worn off, which I know that's not really what this is for. And I only did one layer. But you can tell this is like eggnog to like a stone gray. So yeah, it's not gonna, no amount of layers is gonna match this. It's never gonna look like this. It's gonna just look more yellow. So I gave it a fair shot. I put it on a bunch of different surfaces. I repaired or tried to apply it to the worn edges here. So I got a good leather deglazer and took a fair bit of color off. I'm not gonna lie, I actually started stripping some paint, and I gave this thing every chance. I really gave it all the time it could have, but yeah, realistically, I know it's not gonna match. You can't color match anything. Honestly, you can't even really color match black. Like, the videos that I've seen, they look good because they're applying like a gloss afterwards. But if you just looked at the color to color, there's so many different types of black. Like, there's like 1,000 blacks. So the idea that you're gonna get like a beige that's just out of one bottle to match every interior beige color is ridiculous. It makes no sense. And I know that because there's another company, the company I ended up going with, called Seat Doctors. So yeah, don't mind the label. It's actually had a tiny little hole in it and it's spilled in the envelope, which is annoying. It only dropped maybe 5% out of this whole bottle, but Seat Doctors is a VIN number matched color dye, leather dye, sorry. And so they have a cafe latte, which is the interior code for Infinity of this era. And the amount you get, like, this is their medium-sized bottle, and I'll show a picture of the Clydes, but it's like this width, like to here. Like, they're, I'm going through their website, because I actually tried to submit for a refund, which is another part of this video we'll get into in a sec. The way that they like preemptively, don't worry, like they give you all these little don't worries. I know our product looks tiny, but don't worry, it spreads out a lot. Okay, fair enough. Well, it does spread out. I'll give them that. It does spread out pretty well. But I think their normal color package is the same price as this, I believe. Like, this company has a smaller amount that you could do 2 seats with, which is still bigger than the Clydes. I don't know how well this spreads out. I haven't even used it yet, but we're going to do that in a second here. But just the general amount that you get. So I paid $65 for this bottle, and I also got a leather filler. So this is their leather filler. And, that's going to do, like, I'm coming at this from like a value perspective, you know what I mean? Like, the amount of value you get for your money. I think I paid $48 for the Clydes, and I got like a balm that, it's nice, it's okay. It's honestly, I would put Lexol over it. I don't know enough about leather reconditioning. I did use some of it on this side, and it is quite supple. Like, it actually did add a fair bit of like plushness to it. But the you can kind of see it's still left in between these threads here, that color, that off yellow color. And you can also see, if you look even closer, the amount of actual paint that came off when I deglazed this. If this didn't work, I was just planning on just saying, forget it, and just, leave it. It's honestly not that bad. Like the seats in here are pretty dang nice. Like, yeah, they've got some wear. The one that I'm sitting in is definitely more worn, but they're not bad. You know, most people who get in the car think it's crazy clean. But for me, you know, for my knowing how nice it could be, I really wanted to re-dye them. And the plan was that if this didn't work, to just forget it, and you know, down the line we'll figure something else out. But now I've got like spots in my leather now. Now that is gonna, you know, totally bug my autism. That is gonna kill me, man. Like, I can't have that. So that's what led me down this rabbit hole of getting proper leather dye. So that's fine. You know, if you've got somewhat questionable advertising, you know, you're getting out ahead of valid concerns. People are saying, hey, this doesn't look like very much for $30 something, $20 something. What's up with that? And if you have like an ad on your site that says like, don't worry, it spreads out. Okay, like that's good. You get less questions, but like, does it? You know, why don't you just have more? Why don't you just make it bigger? And that kind of became a trend that I noticed with their site, because every guarantee, every little pat on the back also has an addendum, right? They have this, don't worry, like, hey, I know that our leather dye is 1 or 2 colors to match thousands of different interior colors, and that doesn't really make any sense. But hey, just buy it, because what if it does work and you can just rub in new color and it just looks brand new again? Okay, so just try it, because we got a great money back guarantee. You just show us the non-color matched leather and we'll send you your money back. Okay, great. So I sent them an email and I show them this, basically. I'm like, I showed them this and I showed them this, and I was like, yeah, you know, I don't think it's gonna work out. Can I just get my money back? I'll keep your overpriced conditioner balm, you know, your saddle leather balm, and I'll use that on the car, but I can't, you know, in good conscience pay for something that's not even close, right? It's just, this doesn't make sense. So they go, sorry, your refund's been denied. You have to send us a picture of your attempt. You have to show us this, but you also have to like hold the Clydes beside it. Like, what do they think I'm doing? Like, do you think I'm lying? Do they think that I like painted this with yellow paint, bought their Clydes, didn't use it, and then send them a picture of like just this? Like, what does that do? Like, doesn't even make sense. Is the leather repaired or not? No? Okay, well then give me the money back. It's like pretty simple. So that was the first thing that threw me. So I went back out and I took like, they wanted 7 images, I think. They wanted 6 images with the product. So I just literally retook every photo, right? Like literally like, Clydes. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, I'm like, what am I doing? I go, okay, here's your demands met. Can I have my money back? And they go, yeah, sure, all good. Okay, where's my RMA label? Where's my send me the thing back on your dime label? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you have to drop it off to a US post office and then include the receipt of the post office in the box, and then we'll pay for that back. So we'll pay you your money back for that, and also the money back for the shipping. Okay. We don't have US post office here. I'm in Canada. Okay. Sorry, this is America only. We're working on that. That's literally the reply. I'll post the emails. I'll post the emails up, because I was like, wait, what? Like, they're not going, oh, I'm so sorry, like our shipping, you know, program is through this. Here's another option. It's like, yeah, it's America only, sorry. So that's it. Like, I don't get a refund now because I'm in Canada, even though you offer and you have a Canadian version of your site. Like, maybe you have that on the thing. Hey, by the way, we noticed you're in Canada. FYI, if this doesn't work, you have to pay to get it back to us. What do you think I'm going to do? Pay like $15 in shipping to get my $28 back? What do you, it's so bad. Like, I don't even care about the money. It's just like, dude, don't waste my time. Just say, sorry, no refunds. You're in Canada. I have to go through this, like, I have to jump through these hoops to find out that I don't get my money back. That's so stupid. So yeah, this is going to be biased. I'm telling you, don't buy Clydes. I don't even care if the black works well. Who cares? This is a better product. I've seen multiple videos of seat doctors being used. I've seen 0 of the Clydes. Sorry, that's not true. There's one video of a guy who has basically, let's just use this. This is a good example. Basically perfect leather, right? No cracks, no discoloration at all. Takes the Clydes, he pours it on, he rubs it in, keeps rubbing it, rubs it off, right? Now it's just back to this. and goes, wow, you did a great job. That is nothing. I want to see discoloration paint matched to actual leather dye. That's the whole point of this. We're not touching up perfect untouched leather, which by the way isn't even what he's doing. If he put a dab of this on and then rubbed it in and it was so good that you couldn't tell, great, that's amazing. But that's not what it's doing. You're putting a product on and then basically rubbing it off, and it's got some sort of conditioner in there and it looks, you know, a little bit more plush. That has nothing to do with its recoloring abilities. It's silly. Silly is the nicest word I can use. But we're gonna find out how good Seat Doctors is, because if this is even remotely as good as I've seen online, then this is what I'm gonna be telling people to get. Even if the black is great on Clydes, you get more of it, you get more value. That's a better way of saying it. You just get better value. $48, you can get a tiny little tin and some leather balm. Or for $60, you can get this, which I believe on the website they actually mention how far this goes, and they basically say 2 seats and, you know, left over. So you can do both seats. And by the way, this is re-dyeing. This isn't their like touch up, you know, oh, you can cover a few spots with it. No, you could strip this entire seat of all of its color, re-dye it to this color, and do that twice and have it, you know, left over for enough for a steering wheel for $20 more, and it's paint and it's color matched. Yeah. Oh, and you also get a, you know, leather filler, so all these cracks will be like brand new again. I don't even know how far I'm gonna go with that stuff. I honestly just wanted to recolor it and leave the cracks. I kind of like cracked leather, but I also saw really good results with the leather filler, so we might do that. I don't know.
One eternity later.
Anyways, I'm gonna do the steering wheel right now, because I didn't put anything on top of it, so this is just paint. I don't think I need to do anything. And we'll see how it goes on. So yeah, get a good picture of what this looks like and what it's gonna look like in about 5 minutes here. Oh, we got some untouched here. This is gonna be a good test. I'll do that part too.
A few moments later.
Oh man. Even just off the bat, I've just done like this much with one layer, and already, I mean, it's so good. It's like perfect. It's like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted the Clydes to be. I just wanted to just dab it on and the damage just disappears. I mean, I'm not going to do a how-to. I refuse. I will never do how-to videos. They're just cursed. I try and make a how-to video and everything goes wrong. But I am going to show you just how good this is and how easy this is. I'm not even using their directions. You're kind of supposed to have like a sponge or a cloth. You know, I've got the non-lint wipes as well, just to kind of get any excess off. I just want to show you, just with a generic paintbrush, how well this goes on here. So I kind of go heavy and I just spread that out. It just disappears. And as it dries, it just blends right in. It's crazy how good this is. More coats and thinner is what my friend said. He's like, you'll have it to the point where you won't even be able to see it. Where one begins and when the other starts. That is looking really good. Like, I know it looks, you know, yeah, but this was bare leather 2 seconds ago. And 2 more coats is going to be completely blended into this. I'm going to do this one up next. Yeah, let's do this one. The satisfaction of just painting over bad like scuffs and all that stuff, and it just disappears. It's so satisfying. I know it looks a little globby. We're going to spread this out. I just kind of want to show you the color, because the color is so good. Yeah, perfect. Less is more, less is more. So I kind of start heavy and then just kind of drag this away. And even if you start to see the grains of the leather, don't worry, just keep going. That's what the next coat's for. Dude, that's looking good, man. That's looking good. I'm gonna do this whole side, so get your mental picture of what this looks like, and then we're gonna show what it looks like after.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I just did like 2 passes, and yeah, I am really happy with that. That is crazy good. I mean, you can kind of see where I stopped, but I'm globbing it on, right? This is not the application it's for. You know, I think that you could re-dye like paint over like a grain leather, but they would tell you to sand this and sand it, and then there's a way to put texture into it. I'm not doing that. This is a steering wheel. Dude, look at that. That is good, man. That is so good. Let's get that into focus. You can see it. You can see a light line. There's a bit of the Clydes left over in this grain here. So I would just hit it with another really thin layer once this is kind of drying a bit. But man, like look at that. That is so good. Like yeah, you could get nitpicky. And if you really wanted to, you could like go over the threads. I'm not doing any of that. Like I think this is what I look at. And that looks good to me. And a bunch up here. Like, dude, that's really good. I'm super happy with that. I'm actually gonna hit this now. And just kind of see where it's at, because it's gonna take a long time to dry. It's really cold. So I'm gonna just do a really basic first layer. And actually, yeah, no, I don't have stripper on this stuff. Never mind. I'm gonna do, yeah, I'll do this properly.
The next day.
Okay guys, I did another layer and it is coming along so good. I cannot believe how well this stuff blends in. I even started doing this seat. Like I've really only done this one section, but like compare that, man. Look at these cracks. I'm not even filling this stuff in. I haven't even touched the filler. Like, dude, I'm not even gonna touch that up. That's fine. If we go from that to that, I'm good. I'm good at that. They don't need to be perfect. I'm gonna hit this next. Dude, I love this stuff so much. I'm gonna do one more section. I'm gonna let this all dry. It's getting kind of cold in here. I am gonna do a layer on this just to touch this up and see how that turns out. Boys, I'm so happy with this.
One eternity later.
Okay, so it is a couple days since I first applied the first layer. And I was kind of wondering how it would turn out, and man, this stuff totally exceeded my expectations. Like over here I had like a bunch of stuff that was definitely not blended in, and I was worried. I was like, you know, maybe it's going to show up as texture or whatever, because it was definitely a few tones lighter. But after letting it cure, I mean, you can see where I touched it up, it's just lighter, because mostly it's just a different level of shine. But when I put like a coat, like a top coat on this, you won't be able to tell. I mean, it is so good. I missed a couple spots here. I was trying to avoid the threads. I think having the threads not painted over, well, I would definitely paint over a couple. It's not too bad. This is really a test run. Now that I know it's good, we'll do more of this stuff in the future, but today I'm going to, I mean, like, look how good that is. Look how good that is. That's so good. That's crazy. I mean, it's like perfect. Like, yeah, there's a crack here and it's not gonna look brand new. Like I could fill that in. I could make that a little bit better. But compared to that to that in like an hour and a half maybe for this whole section. I really took my time on this. I rubbed in a bunch of color. It definitely takes more color, but I also kind of screwed up. Like I didn't clean as well as I should. So today I brought out the Chemical Guys leather cleaner and a toothbrush. I'm actually gonna use, I'm being really careful with the leather, like not really like roughing it up. And I think that's a mistake. I think you should be a little bit more tough with it. But man, I was totally expecting it to be like a flat paint like this. This has like no texture to it all, but that's because I covered, there was no texture to begin with. It had been rubbed off. This is like raw leather. So that's why that looks like that. And I'm sure it has something to do with the amount of layers. Like you can kind of see where the texture starts and ends. But I mean, when you're driving down this highway, are you really gonna notice that? Like, no. Now there is a really cool, I'll actually link to that video because I watched it and I couldn't believe how like cool this was. It's just a cool video. But this guy basically shows how to, it's not even really leather. You could do this with any print, any pattern. You could copy this. And basically what he does is in paintless dent repair, they have these little tabs. It's like it looks like a big ring, right? It's like a tab with a circle on it. And then they have this special glue at, it looks like RTV, but I guess it's very hard. Like it attaches itself to things very well, and then when it comes in contact with like alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, it unsticks, which is why they like it, because it doesn't hurt your paint or anything. So they stick it to your car, they let it harden, and then they pull the dent. Well, in this case, what they do is they let it harden like 90%, so it's almost ready to cured, and then they put it over a pattern like this, and they get the imprint on it. They leave it on there, like let it cure on the imprint, and then they hit it with a bit of isopropyl alcohol, and when it comes off, it's like a perfect stamp. So you could take this, like let's say this was in really bad shape and it had a hole or something like that, you could fill it in with this leather filler, right? Take the little scraper tool, make it flat, make it even, and then let that cure, sand it so that it's like truly flat, and then apply it with this color. And then on your last 1 or 2 coats, you could use the stamp and actually put in a leather pattern, and you wouldn't even be able to tell that this was repaired. I mean, this is obviously different where you can still see the grain behind the paint, right? Because I'm not really recoloring this. I'm just touching up the cracks and filling it in, kind of, more than anything. Yeah, like you could repair this hole and have it where you can't tell, which is really cool. Like that's really high level repair work that you can do yourself. I mean, I don't know. I just think that's really cool. So anyways, I'll link to that guy's video. Enough about that. I'm going to take a couple before and after pictures, and we're going to get to work on this thing.
A few moments later.
Okay. So it's still drying. You can still see where it's patchy, but man, it just soaks up those cracks. Like this is just one, maybe more than one layer. And you can see where it's still not drying, but all of this, I'm not going to touch this. I'm going to leave this as it is. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more down here. I'm going to fill this little kind of crack up a little bit, and we'll let it cure, because that's really where the magic happens. It kind of goes on light. Like if you just painted this on, and you can kind of see where it's streaking, you would think that this would dry to be a light color, but it dries this color. Yeah, I can't believe how well this turned out. Did my best to avoid the stitching. I think it still looks pretty good. I am so happy with this results. We are gonna finish up the touch up here, and then I'm gonna go back inside, and then I think tomorrow we'll clean and prep the driver's seat and get going on that one. And then that'll pretty much be done.
The next day.
Okay, I'm off to go fix the belt tensioner on my car, but I just wanted to make a quick little clip on just how well this stuff worked with only one layer. I'll show some before and after, but man, I mean, you can't even see where it begins. Like I would actually have to point out kind of where the start and stop points are, because I didn't do this whole panel. This is not the same color, even though it looks the same. Dang, that's good.
The next day.
Okay, so I got this pretty clean here, just using the Chemical Guys leather cleaner, and noticing I actually have a small hole here. Yeah, not too worried about that. I just kind of wanted to show general condition before we dive in here. Still haven't gone over it with any alcohol or anything, but we're gonna fill in this. I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a before and after. I should probably get some sandpaper. Yeah, I think I will do that. Level this out a bit. But anyways, yeah, gonna get to it. Got the engine running, just gonna get this thing warm and put some heat in the seat. That way I can do the filler and then come out in an hour or two and do this again. But anyways, I'm gonna try out this filler. I've never tried it before. Okay, so I'm just kind of bored checking on it, and I think I actually am gonna do a little bit of dyeing, but this is the crack filler. So it doesn't look like much right now, and I probably should sand. Actually, it's fine. No, it's fine. There's a couple spots that kind of stick out that I might lay flat. We'll see how it does after. Obviously, all these like cracks and dents are gonna be still in there. I filled this one a little bit. We'll see what it looks like. And it's not fully cured, so I'm not gonna be doing every section right now, but I just kind of wanted to see what it's gonna look like. I'm pretty impressed. I mean, even just with this stuff, obviously it's not the same color, but like, I can tell you this is gonna look really, really close to new. I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, so it is the next day, and I'm not sure if I recorded any of it, but I actually came out here in the morning and put down another couple layers. Took my time, warmed up the car, put a heat cycle through it, and I definitely missed some spots. Like, I didn't go too crazy with the filler. I think I could have gone a lot more because it is cold. Like it's literally snowing right now. And I just kind of wanted to see what it looked like because I knew I got such good results with the passenger, but the passenger was kind of, you know, it was already pretty good already. But you can see the difference between, you know, obviously this isn't nearly as cracked as this was, but I am still so happy with the results. I mean, it is crazy how good it is. I'll post the, you know, the before. I definitely missed a couple of spots with the crack filler. But, you know, I think if I really wanted to, I could go over this again when it's not freezing cold and take a heat gun, tape off the stitching that I want to preserve and really kind of scrub in some of this color, because when you really layer it on, you can just kind of see it just starts to become, it's hard to explain. It's like it almost fills it up. And that's a really like inadequate explanation. I also could have sanded some. Like there's definitely some parts that stick up a bit. But it's pliable. You know, this is a few hours ago, right? This is 4 or 5 hours of cure time in the cold with no heat gun. And like this part turned out really good. I kind of went, you know, this is the side closest to me. So this is the side I put most layers on. And yeah, it's like brand new. I didn't really go too heavy on the creases. I looked online and people, it's kind of a back and forth discussion, like stuff like this. Like, would you fill this in with filler? And most people say no. You know, a lot of the reupholstery guys will actually like put new cushioning in and stuff like that. I'm not going to do any of that. For a couple hours of work, and I can't remember how much I paid for this, like 56 bucks. Like this just looks like a really well kept seat. It didn't have the first half of its life just sat on with no conditioning, right? Because when you condition leather, you can only bring it back so far. I think the next stage, I will kind of go hog wild on the backs of these. I'm not sure how. Yeah, I think I only did this one bolster here, which I could do again. Like I could fill this up with filler and smooth this out. But again, this doesn't look that bad to me. And it looks very dull right now because it's just a matte color. Like when I put the actual, I'm going to use that Clyde stuff. But I want to go through this again. I'm going to do another coat of paint tonight. Or dye rather. Because I think all this can get smoothed out big time. But yeah, I'll show the before and after. It's crazy. What's going on, guys? I just realized that I never filmed an outro to this, so this is gonna have to suffice. But if you are planning on doing something like this, I highly recommend Seat Doctors. It's December 8th, and as of today, Clydes is yet to reply to my last email, so I don't know what to say about that. But the Seat Doctors works really well. I got lots of cool stuff coming for this car, so you gotta stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!